Today's DIY project is going to be cheap acoustic panels. Now, I've made these before using rock wool, and I saw people saying that rock wool might have off gases, and honestly, rock wool, even though it's not supposed to, is a little itchy when you back against it. So I'm going to try out using high density foam. Let's get started. Here's all my supplies in my dirty garage. I have the cheap wood that I got from Home Depot. I didn't need anything nice because nobody's going to see it, so I didn't care. And then I got this high density foam off of Amazon. It's interesting. It came all rolled up tightly, vacuum sealed in that box, and it popped out. All right, let's start with the side pieces. I got the two pieces here. I'm going to cut them at the same time. What I'm going to do is check the depth of my saw to make sure it goes all the way through, and it looks like it'll clear with no problem. Also need to make sure that I clamp those down so they don't go flying off and cut my finger off. So I'm just gonna check the length, make sure that everything's correct, and then pick the center of that. I'll go ahead and use my square to make sure that it's perfectly straight. Safety first, make sure you grab your safety glasses. Yeah, they're not full coverage, but I shouldn't get anything in my eyes. And you can see I've clamped the wood, and because of my incredible filming ability, I am cutting the board off camera. And now that cuts down, I need to do the tops of the frames. Now this one, I'm just gonna take this board and I'm gonna cut it into 4 different pieces because I need obviously 2 tops and 2 bottoms. So I'm just gonna measure it out and mark accordingly to split it 4 ways evenly. To save time, I have my drill bit in one drill, and then I use the other one to actually do the screws. Here's an up close look at the wood. You can see it's nothing special. And I ran the screw parallel so that it would support more weight. Even though the foam is incredibly light, it probably doesn't matter. It's just something I wanted to do. Now I'm gonna mark out the spot on my high density foam. Now for some reason I couldn't track down my utility knife, so I'm gonna try to cut it with this X-Acto knife, and obviously this is a huge fail. Clearly that knife is not long enough, but I thought, oh, I'll just cut through and it'll look all nice. Turns out that's not the case. It takes 4 or 5 times to get through that thing, and it ends up being all jagged and terrible and not straight at all. I'll throw in a test fit of the foam, and it fits in there pretty nicely. Now this is where I'm starting to notice my problem. Now the wood is 2 inches and the foam is 2 inches, but I obviously forgot that wood isn't literally 2 inches, it's smaller. So you can see there's a little bit sticking out. So that's annoying. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to go back and get more wood now. And if I wanted to correct it later, I can. But we'll see what it looks like when I get all finished up. I'm gonna throw my fabric down. I just picked up some cheap fabric at the fabric store. It was something like $3 a yard. If you wanted to, you could probably just buy a curtain off of Amazon and cut it up. It'd be about the same price. So I lay it on the underside, and obviously it's dirty because of all the wood I've been cutting, because I didn't clean my area, because why would I clean my area? So what I did was I folded the outside pieces in, and then I tried to create a semi-nice fold. I mean, nobody's gonna actually see this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So doing fabric's a lot like doing vinyl work, and I worked in a sign shop for a while, if you've seen any of my other videos. So really you just kind of want to pull it tight at one side and then work your way down to the other side. Just pulling it taut as you go, just to make sure to get rid of some of those wrinkles. Honestly, wrinkles are kind of unavoidable, but if you pull pretty tightly, you'll make sure that you get them. And as I flip it over, you can kind of see where the wrinkles are kind of a little bit wrinkly, but I'll be able to pull those tight with no problem. For the bottom, I just cut off the excess of what I needed, just so I had enough to overlap and fold over and look nice. And with that one done, I'm just gonna throw her up over here. For the second one, I decided to be less dumb because this X-Acto knife was a huge fail. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm gonna go with the super safe way and use one of my giant knives from the kitchen. Now, this looks super dangerous, but it actually cut really, really, really well. Obviously, I probably ruined my kitchen knife, but I'll just sharpen it. As far as a hook goes, I have these old picture hanger hooks, and then I just used some plastic twine that I had laying around. I think it was actually for a weed whacker that was left at my house when I bought the house. I figured I might as well use it, it's free. Here you can see the gap where the pad sits back there. You don't really notice it from the front, especially if I push it through. But if I don't push it through, you can kind of see that little layer up there where it bumps out. Here's the finished product. I think it turned out pretty great. I really like the way it makes my space look, and it's going to help with a little bit of the sound. Obviously, I need to make more of them, but it was neat to try it in a different way using the high density foam. Obviously, next time I need to get wood that's 3 inches instead of 2 inches, so it'll take that whole space. I was assuming that the foam would be a little bit smaller than it said, but no, it was the right depth and the wood was not. But it still looks great. It just kind of sits off the wall a little bit. I really like it, and I think I can use these in combination with some rock wool and make my room sound even better. Thanks for joining me for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.